All right, ladies and gentlemen, beyond the game on the path to victory again. They disappointed us a little bit earlier in CE. That must feel a little annoying right now. That is the third game in a row they can't seem to win over BTG. What are they going to have in store for us? And oh my goodness, like this young man, LLK, the amount of damage he was able to dish out, but more importantly, the amount of escapes he had early on. If he had died a couple of times there where they surrounded him with everything they've got, that would have maybe been a different game. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. But right now, that was a solid performance by BTG. But was that just because of Braxis? They seemed confident. They picked it. They picked the map. They ran in with this composition. They very much drafted against a Lufel. And they played very effectively with it. The Kel'Thuzad not working out. And they get map choice again, taking CE to Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Man, Beyond the Game is just breaking and defying the meta right now in China. They not only pick Braxis Holdout, but they also play Tomb of the Spider Queen, one of the least popular maps in China. And for a good reason, because if you manage to snowball ahead with 2 turn-ins in a row, if you continue to shut down these turn-in locations against your enemies, it's very hard for them to make a comeback happen. So it all depends on a strong early game, on strong rotations. And unfortunately for CE, that is exactly where they struggled last game.
That it was. So now, we're starting off. CE gonna remove the Urel from Loktar, although Loktar just proved that he is more than capable of playing another solo laner from time to time.
Yeah, you see him having a little bit of a giggle there because he's probably like, again, really, enemy team? Do I have to play on a different hero? But, yep, that's the way it goes when you're known as a one-trick at this point. No offense. No offense.
Yeah. There goes the Urel. Not the Urel, sorry, the white main. The Urel was taken out, though, so thanks, Brain. So the white main is removed. There goes Genji, and we'll likely see Diablo or Maiev banned. Maiev is the more usual one, so I expect to see that.
So to all the CE fans out there, by the way, raise your cheers high and send them your energy because they really, really need a win right now if they want to keep a close distance to Beyond the Game. And speaking of cheers, by the way, all the cheers are available for HGC China right now, whether it's an A-team cheer that he always wanted to get rid of or a Team Nut cheer. Especially Team Nut cheer could, could be purchased now as a sign of sympathy for Malthael, who's not feeling all too well.
And here is the Maiev sneaking in, which gives Diablo over to BTG. An interesting priority coming in from CE, choosing to go for that sort of melee assassin for potentially a Lufel, as opposed to that Diablo for Zhuyu.
All right, what are we going to see here? Maiev was very lethal yesterday. We immediately see the lockdown on Diablo. Makes a lot of sense as well. Phoenix into the mix as well. Phoenix probably one of the more stable assassins against the Maiev if that teleport ends up coming in time. And especially in the late game, with that indomitable spirit, that extra shield bar. Very, very reliable. Very, very good.
Reign of Decade immediately picked up. If you're going to let that support go through, then CE will happily pick it up. 365 getting a very high priority hero. And XDQ being put back on his Reina most likely, as this is probably going to be a Lufel on the Maiev. So that is going to be incredibly solid.
Okay. Now, what do we want to ban away here? Maybe a Warrior, maybe the Muradin, because Zhuyu has been relying on that hero so much. Yep, makes perfect sense. You take that away from Zhuyu. Now, what is left here for Tomb? There's still a Johanna option here available. I mean, Johanna probably has some of the strongest rotations out of all the main tanks in this game.
How much are they going to be able to do with this? Like you said, Johanna's still possible. Muradin removed. They can still Garrosh, actually. That's still available. They can try and get counter engages that way. BTG. What is the next choice for them? Thrall and Malfurion. Makes a lot of sense. Choosing to go for the Malfurion, the more passive support, as opposed to someone like the Karazim, who could be an aggressive support, or even the Stukov, who could have given them some good area control on this map.
All right, it looks like it's going to be another LLK game on that Thrall. And who can blame him after that splendid performance in game number 1, proving to be so slippery, so on point with his juking, sidestepping. What is left here? Leoric and Anubarak coming. Now, I'm loving the Anubarak, by the way. Anubarak continues to impress in China. His win rate is very, very impressive.
And with the Leoric as well, they've got pretty solid every lane, quite frankly.
Yeah,
everything looks
a
good.
mage.
Lots of slows for Reyna, some decent engages, good follow-up for the Maiev. They can go for a beautiful...
Kalthus?
Oh, BTG could go for Kalthus, but they're going to stick with Junkrat. But yeah, CE, they can just go for the Containment Disc Cocoon combo, and there's no one who can burn through the Cocoon. Every fight's going to be a 3 versus 5, so I'm very much leaning towards CE's draft.
Tetra Locktar is back on Thrall. It is not LLK because they refuse to pick another tanky soul laner. That means LLK will hop on over to the Junkrat. Definitely not a bad pick for them by any means. And let's see. This is pretty much a standard game right now. No crazy assassin picks here, for example, on the side of CE. This is basically playing to their strengths right now, right? They have the Leoric online. They have a new Barak, which is not too shabby of a hero. If you remember, yesterday, that was actually when Juyu initiated all those wins on their accounts.
Exactly. Very true. So then, with this role swap, can CE get the counter victory? I definitely prefer this draft to their last one, the Kel'Thuzad. A very odd risk. Right now, with this victory, Beyond the Game already have a 2-point lead over the One, who are still yet to play today. If they are able to win again, then they obviously protect their first place, even if the One score a 2-0. But CE, if they claim victory, they will move up to tie points with RPG, and both of them will be ahead of SPT.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. SPT and the One, they're not done though yet. They're going to play their final game of the day here right after this one. But first, we're going to focus on game number 2 between CE Challenge and their opponents BTG. On the left-hand side, in the blues, playing from left to right, it is indeed BTG with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Locktar.
And on the right, it is CE with a Luful, XTQ, 365, KTY, and Juyu.
Now, Tetra, something deep within me tells me that I've got a good feeling about CE. I can't help but feel that this is probably one of their most comfortable drafts. They had a very similar approach to the game yesterday. It was completely unstoppable, especially a Luful on Maiev impressed quite a bit. The question is, Beyond the Game probably watched that game, and they probably have something in mind when playing against that. So with that Junkrat already providing so much disengage, so much mayhem with the concussion mines, I think they're probably very well equipped to deal with this.
They certainly have a lot of self-sustain and protection on a lot of their heroes, but Malfurion is going to be an issue. Good knockback there from Reyna, giving Juyu the chance to escape. Pull in from a Luful. Doesn't get the reset, actually. He is forced to back up.
Yeah, we see another Devil's Due Diablo, by the way, taking a page of Itzcook's book earlier. On this map, it's definitely very much playable. You don't even need an Alexstrasza to spawn additional globes for you, because due to the small distance between all those lanes, you're always going to find one globe here and there. Definitely cool. Hold that thought. Juyu, man. Woo! He takes a lot of damage from the grenades and damage of LLK. And I love the play by 619, immediately retreating without exposing himself.
Yeah, nice little snipe once again by BTG, able to pick up another first blood for the second game in a row. This time, though, onto the main tank as opposed to onto the offlaner.
And that is Beyond the Game, fully unleashed here up to this point. They find those openings, they find these gaps in the defenses of CE, and they're punishing those gaps mercilessly up to this point. Look at Diablo, man, shutting down the entrance to that mercenary camp, and KTY has no other choice, no other option than to use Wraithwalk and the Ossian Renewal. Getting chased by Phoenix, though, who takes a lot of damage in return, though. Doesn't commit all the way, though.
KTY stays alive. Once again, an experienced lead for BTG for the second game in a row, but we'll see how long that continues. Currently, Gems actually in favor of CE, but only barely. Nothing actually, no significant amount here. This Dancing duels backwards. Zhu puts any pressure he can onto that front line, trying to gain value out of this Bruiser camp.
And the value they should get here, I think they might be able... Oh, never mind. They are not going going for any value here. Luful, oh my goodness, that was a last-second save here. Actually, that Phoenix, though, thanks to that level 1 talent, the blast damage is too high for Maiev to live through.
The Arsenal synergy, able to pick up that kill. Like you said, Reyna knocks back and backs up again. as BTG, they're picking up some good kills. That was a nice little charge by Diablo, followed up by a good root from Malfurion. Just simple, classic plays.
Yeah, it looks very easy, right? When you see it happen here by Beyond the Game. But in reality, it takes a lot of communication and a lot of timing as well to actually set up for those kills. Good turn in by KTY. You know, when you are the solo laner on Tomb of the Spider Queen, oftentimes turning in your gems, which you tend to have quite a lot of because you're spending so much time in lane just picking up gems left and right, is really cool. Because otherwise, sooner or later, there might be this one gank happening in the bottom lane. And if you fall victim to that, then you're going to drop a large majority of your team's gems. So good move by KTY. The same can be said about Lockter. He's already carrying 16, so he may want to try and find that window of opportunity to pay those in. Looks like he's going to be doing exactly that.
You see the root coming in. Diablo gets knocked back. Will survive for the moment as a quick cleanup. Drain onto Locktar, so KTY is actually taking a lot of damage here. Very nice duel by Locktar here in this lane.
And I mean, Leora can't win that battle. I mean, that was a gorgeous flip back into the roots, and Julius has good buy world. But yeah, Leora can't win that duel. He doesn't have block here. He doesn't have any physical damage mitigation, and the damage that Thrall can actually unleash on him is greater than the protection from his Drain Hope and the Austin Renewal.
XTQ with the knockback. Gonna be backing away here so he doesn't get caught out. And LK will be turning in another 3 gems, the exact amount they need, once Deckard stops being annoying. And that will be the first turn-in of the game, going over to Beyond the Game. And let's see how much value they can get from this push.
All right, we see that push coming in now for BTG. Let's actually check on wave clear here. Wave clear is oftentimes crucial when it comes to dealing with web weavers. We have Rainer, which is okay, didn't take Exterminator though. Maiev is alright, but overall I think they are lacking the mage power. Heroes like Gul'dan, heroes like Kel'Thas, for example, they would have been really beneficial in that situation. Let's actually see how quickly they can dispatch these web weavers. Lufel going with the flank, BTG taking a lot of damage onto Dibbles.
Very nice. Now turning on to Locktar, chasing him down as well, but unable to finish the job there. Dibbles did just lose all his souls, but that is the first kill CE have been able to achieve all game. With KTY not escaping, actually, he's going to die.
Ancestral Wrath is a pretty good talent against warriors, yo. It deals so much damage, and that is exactly what we've been talking about. Oh, 365 doesn't get the entire package of gems, only picks up a couple of those.
Any gems is better than no gems. CE will still likely have enough for their full turn-in, but they have to deal with this push. It's still happening. KTY moves forward. They're going to try and dive Locktar here. Root from Malfurion comes out as a Lufel wraps in from the side, looking for a good angle. There's the root from Deckard Cain. Malfurion pulls in, and that might be the opportunity to kill him as KTY dives forward onto Druid, and that's the kill. And KTY even sneaks away in the chaos.
Sneaks away, comes back though, and I think there was another Ancestral Wrath
Locktar
coming in from Thrall. The fight is not done yet. Lufel trying to run away to safety, and he does so with that Warden's Vault.
They snipe off Locktar. Now they're looking for Dancing Impale. Where's the interruption of the teleport? There it is. And that is going to be a quadruple kill coming in for CE. Sorry, a triple kill. They got the other kill earlier on. So now they can move up and get their turn in. 63 gems in possession, 15 already turned in. They're easily going to be able to get a turn in, and this will probably get them level 10 very soon.
Yeah, and this is exactly the kind of redemption that they wanted, that they were looking for. You know, getting those kills like a vacuum cleaner. Maiev pulling on all those enemy members over and over and over again, Tetra. That was really well done. Level 10, as you said, will be close here. BTG trying to find that opening here. That's a good position for Diablo to fight in many walls, but he gets shut down completely.
Diablo will back up to the rest of his team as they make the most of their level 10 earlier advantage. KTY bringing out once again that March of the Black King, as we do in fact also see that Cocoon and Containment Disc combo. Remove people from the fight, kill everyone else.
Yeah, remember yesterday we had a lot of good shutdowns or a lot of good lockdowns with those, you know, crowd control abilities. You put Cocoon on one hero, you could contain this on the other hero, and all of a sudden you're fighting a 5 versus 3. And when you find an isolated target, you can always, you know, buy enough time with those abilities to group up, surround that target, and prevent any escape mechanisms.
Cleanup coming in here from BTG. They do lose a fair amount of structures, but all their forts do remain tall, although this bot one might not for much longer, thanks to this Siege Giant camp and the zoning coming in here for Zhuyu. Maev's not here, so they can't go for the double isolation play. Siege Giants continue to reign in the pain, and that will be the first fort of the game, going over to CE.
All right, CE here coming on with all that momentum. They've got 49 gems in their pockets right now. The majority of them is currently being paid by XDQ on the Rainer. Immediately decides to quit the channel, though, because there's a Diablo to be focused on. In the backline, Alufo continues to deal terrible, terrible damage onto the blue members of BTG.
March of the Black King picks up the kill, though, onto the Thrall, as we see XDQ sniping down Diablo, and they will get an easy Druid killing him off once he is out of the cocoon. And 365 and the rest of CE are beginning to snowball.
Yeah, and guess what, Tetcher? They were just shy of a couple of gems here with that second payment, but because they just picked off more BTG members who always drop 3 gems each upon each death, they're going to be saying, you know, thank you very much, guys, for that assist. With the gems you just provided to us, we're going to turn in and probably try to get those forts in top and middle.
And that's going to be a pretty huge deal if they can. That will snowball them even further ahead, as they already have level 13, a talent lead, as they move forward. And that is going to be the Drain Hope talent coming in for Leoric on level 13. He is bringing out that unyielding despair.
Yep.
Not even the usual one, as they dive forward looking for Loktar or 619 here, but they can't catch him. But they've got a setup on Dancing here. Stay a while, but he's woken up and gets the teleport last second.
Just in time. The zoning lightning breath not too shabby either, but the damage just is not enough. They just can't keep CE at bay. Without really breaking much of a sweat, Decker Kane brings everybody back to good health, and they're just not done pushing yet here. We see the roots, we see the deep roots coming in by Malfurion, by the way, a greater range and a longer duration if you end up getting rooted.
So as a heads up here for this Unyielding Despair, it is basically CDR for Drain Hope. This can be comboed at level 16 with that Crushing Hope. He's also gone for Hopelessness, so he's able to do even more crits from even further away more often.
Yeah, we're probably going to see that level 16 upgrade on that Drain Hope as well. And keep in mind, as you said, Tetra, that level 20 Death March, it applies talented versions of Drain Hope. It used to be untalented, but ever since a couple of changes here at level 20 for Leoric's talents, it is now scarier and more dangerous than before.
That it is. Now, if you can get that final swing onto everyone, they just straight up, Leoric becomes invincible for starters because he's draining multiple people. And it becomes incredibly difficult to survive as you have to split to deny that Drain Hope value. Zhuyu picks up this camp. More pressure into the mid lane. Immediate rotation for the rest of BTG to prevent this push from going too far.
Beyond the game, this is their last chance to fight on even terms. In the meantime, we see LLK repairing from lane to lane. Needs to be careful, though, to have that cooldown ready when it matters. Don't get reckless here. Don't get silly. You know, how many gems are in their pockets? 36, that's enough for a pay-in for Beyond the Game, and only 17 for CE.
They would have 10 turned in, though, so they're just under half the way to their own turn-in. So it's all about the denial of BTG's turn-in for CE right now. Keep control of the map. Put as much pressure onto BTG as you can, as 16, like you said, is just around the corner. So the idea is just be annoying right now. Maev, Spirit of Vengeance. I don't even think that actually hit Dancing, but it was enough to dissuade him, and a Heraldric Cube comes in to deny Junkrat.
Yeah, at this point, you just want to be so careful. Like, channeling these gems will basically mean that you're not going to move for a couple of moments. And during those moments, that might be the perfect setup for an Anub'arak Cocoon, for a Containment Disc, and all of a sudden, you find yourselves engaged upon on. And also, look at the lane pressure. KTY in the bottom on that Leoric, pushing 2 lanes at the same time. Regeneration Master complete for Zhuyu. He's going to have some juicy bonus HP points, which is going to help Anub'arak quite a bit against those Thrall and Phoenix basic attacks.
Level 16 is online. There's that Crushing Hope for Leoric, which might be what they need to crush the hopes of BTG in getting a 2-0. We will see as Zhuyu continues to creep forward with the assistance of the Banshee, which is pressuring Loktar.
And this is oftentimes, ladies and gentlemen, why Chinese teams do not necessarily like playing on Tomb of the Spider Queen, because what they like to do, what they excel at, that is team fighting, if you haven't noticed yet. And guess what? Once you're behind by such a large amount, compare this to BTG and CE here, you can't really make those fights happen anymore. It's so predictable for CE as to where BTG could try to go for a fight here from. Really precarious situation for Beyond the Game to find themselves in right now.
In CE, right now, their biggest issue is the minion waves are spawning too slowly for them to get that turn in very quickly. They need 2, sorry. Now they have enough as they go for the turn in. 3 on a Nubrak, 2 on someone else, and that will be another push. But BTG are at least closer to 16 than they were before.
That is correct. Still almost an entire level away from them now. And look at the smart plays by CE as well. They started that mercenary camp before it disappeared, because once those web weavers descend, no more mercenaries and bosses can be obtained. For now, though, the same mercenary camp, I think, was taken by BTG as well, or was it? No, I don't think it was.
Not sure either.
Nope. We don't see it.
Yeah, they're going to move forward and see what they can do. They've got the Bruiser camp. They've got the web weavers. Maev rotating in. Leoric pushing bot lane as he has fantastic wave clear, so he can put pressure there. And this might be could possibly be 2 keeps coming in here.
Oh,
level 16 is around the corner for BTG.
Honestly, this could even be a 3-keep play here. Look at that Riptire being used as a wave clear zoning tool here. We have to use it this way. Locktar just barely surviving. Hold that thought. Now 619 is in big trouble.
Twilight Dream's good as they try to turn this round. They focus onto dancing but can't get him. 365 is able to survive. As we see the focus on Zujuyu. Quick tunnel, getting that subterranean shield. He will tank through it, and that will be a keep. And no one on CE died, despite how close that was.
Look at how elusive they are in the first place. Maev, hard to catch. Leoric, Wraithwalk, good luck trying. Anubrak, Burrow Charge. Even a Decker Kane could step in there as well with a stay a while and listen. So it's really, really insanely hard for Beyond the Game to lock anyone down.
Boss started by CE, boss cancelled by CE as BTG cleaned up the lanes far quicker than they expected, and are now here to contest. Crushing Hope, big chunk of damage onto 619 there. They look for KTY, might have to march here. Gonna Wraith walk away instead. Ooh, Ancestral Right, very nearly giving him some deja vu there, but he will survive.
And although it's a Leoric here in this case, guys, still, you do not want to lose any members near that boss area. You want to wait for your catapults to arrive and then maybe go for a play. This is a good march of the Black King location here, but doesn't even need to use it. Just kills Diablo like that anyways, almost.
Diablo healing up. Here comes a Lightning Breath coming in here. Once again, a Crushing Hope on the 619. Burrow Charge, and finally, Diablo will go down. Roll was killed off earlier here as Dancing is in full retreat.
Yep, looks like Druid also in quite a pinch here. The Twilight Dream goes down, but that doesn't stop Maya from out-attacking. And Alufal with that vault might even make it out to safety. The potions is good. Is he going to get another one in? Oh my goodness, was that close.
Alufal sneaks away. Salvo just out of range as well. And they even take out Phoenix anyway. 619 trying to survive, but Raider chasing him down. A slowing cube doesn't actually come out from Deckard, so Diablo might actually live. In the meantime, another kill goes down to Phoenix, and finally, Reyna finishes off Diablo.
Yeah, Shui went back to base for good measure because he was completely out of mana and out of health, but I don't even think that was necessary, friend. Not that his teammates really need him there, because probably the members that they already have accumulated here should be enough to take this down, or is it? Yeah.
There's the Earthquake, see a Thrall, and it's just Malfurion with no Twilight Dream. They're actually trying to hunt him down. This is a little bit greedy, but either way, that's going to be a game going over to CE. Both teams achieve a single point.
Solid job here by CE, looking much stronger this time around when they went for a standard draft. No shenanigans, no uncertainty factors like that Kel'Thuzad or that Planet Greco last game. From start to finish, a really solid performance. And Tetra, as well as BTG played in Game 1, I'm starting to get worried for them if we're moving on closer to the playoffs, because you just cannot lose games, standard games like these, mind you, on Tomb of Spider Queen as easily as they did.
And the fact is, most other teams aren't going to let you get Braxis. It's as simple as that. And BTG, they caught CE off guard. They did a great job to zone out the picks of Alufal. And Alufal decided to do something weird instead of picking something safe, and they got punished for it. So That felt more like a CE loss than a BTG win, but BTG did play great with their early aggression, getting themselves a solid lead. But they need to be able to do that more consistently.
Kudos, though, to CE. I really liked how they played that from start to finish. I think right now, Zhuyu's Anubrak is probably one of the best ones in the league. He looks absolutely terrifying on this. And this double shutdown strategy, you know, with that containment disc on the one hand and the cocoon on the other hand, it really seems to mess up with a lot of teams. It really breaks their rhythm quite a bit if you always have to worry about, you know, one of your heroes getting shut down for a significant, you know, amount of time during a team fight.
Quite so, quite so. So now that with both teams achieving 1 point, what does that make the table look like? Right now, BTG, they sit on a solid 18 points, but once again, that's only 2 points ahead of the one, which means danger zone time, because the one play next against Super Perfect Team to maybe overtake. It also means, though, that CE, they move up to 14 points, which puts them tied with RPG, as both teams sit on a solid 14 points here.
Wait, does that mean if the one wins 2-0 against SBT, they're going to be first place?
Yes, it will. They'll be first place by 1 point on even games.
Wow. It took a while for the one to get all the way up there, and Beyond the Game certainly has given them way too many opportunities to actually, you know, close in on them. But, you know, I'm actually going to say this at this point. Well deserved. You brought up the winning streak that the one currently find themselves in. So they worked hard for this. They showed up more and more. They were getting used to probably their new player a little bit more as well, Keshi, who I think has been performing quite spectacularly as of late.
Yeah, I think they're looking really solid. The one could almost certainly take the 2-0 against SBT, as we saw SBT looking a little shaky early on today versus the A team, who, quite frankly, got a little bit stomped by KT earlier on, who is not a super high level team at this point, although KT are starting to look better and better, at least today.
Oh, for sure. I would say actually next to CE in that game too, I think KT showed us the best Heroes of the Storm today in that last play day of week 2. For now, though, we're going to take a look at the stats here. 0 structures, man, for BTG. And once again, they're getting to taste a little bit of their own medicine, because finally, the rhythm, the curse has been broken. CE takes a game against BTG after losing 3 matches in a row against them.
Very nicely done. CE stand tall. They will be going on to tomorrow's games with their heads held high, as we do see KTY being called out as the MVP there. Very well deserved. He played a super solid game. So CE, they still have some of their tougher opponents to come up. Also, I said tomorrow, next week is when the next play. But CE, they still have the one to play against this season. They still have SBT to play against this season. And the team they're currently tied with, RPG, to play against this season. So they still have some tough opponents.
For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for my personal highlight of the day. SBT against the one. A true classic coming up after our next commercial break session. And also, once again, for those of you guys just tuning in or watching for the first time, today we're having a little bit of an accident because, unfortunately for Team Nut, Malthael, one of their players, is not feeling all too well. He doesn't find himself in a condition to play, so that game got cancelled. A default win here coming in for RPG, so we're not going to be playing that today. Just a heads up, HGC China is going to stop a little bit earlier today for once. For now, though, Tetcher,
I'll get a rest.
Hey, Tetcher gets a little bit of resting. There we go. Yeah. So not everything is dark and gloomy about that incident, at least. For now, though, short break, guys. We'll be back in a bit. Stay tuned.